Chosen one, stop whatever you are doing right now. Put down the phone you keep checking. Pause the noise around you. Sit down if you are standing. Because what I am about to tell you cannot wait another minute, and your spirit already knows it. Last night, while you were sleeping, while your body was finally still and your guard was finally down, your future spouse broke down in tears. They sobbed in the dark. They could not stop. And the most haunting part, beloved, is they did not even know why. Breathe with me for a moment. Just breathe. Because I know you. I know who I am talking to right now. I know you have been carrying something so heavy for so long that you have forgotten what your shoulders feel like without it. I know the silence of your bedroom at night. I know the exhausting weight of waiting for a love that keeps not arriving, of waiting for a message that never lights up your screen, of waiting for a knock at the door that the universe seems to have forgotten to deliver. I know you have cried in the shower so no one would hear you. I know you have turned the water hotter just to disguise the sound of your own breaking. I know you have stood under that water and asked God quietly, almost ashamed to ask again, when? When is it my turn? When will someone choose me? When will the ache stop? I see you, chosen one. I see the way you scroll past the engagement photos and force yourself to type something kind in the comments while something inside you quietly cracks. I see you sitting at the dinner table with your family while they ask, again, when you are going to bring someone home. I see you walking through crowded places, feeling completely invisible to the one face you are searching for. I see you at 3 a.m, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling, listening to the loneliness get loud, wondering if God somehow skipped over your name in the book of love, wondering if covenant love is just for other people, wondering if you were built for something this world cannot give you. And beloved, I have to tell you something tender right here. That feeling you have, that quiet sense that you love too deeply for this world, that you feel too much, that you care too hard, that you give in a way other people cannot match, that is not a flaw. That is not too much. That is a frequency. And it was always going to take heaven longer to find someone who could match it. Type 444 in the comments right now if you are still waiting for the one God promised you. Type it as a flag in the ground, as a declaration, as a way of saying, I am still here, I am still believing, I have not given up. Because listen to me, chosen one. Those strange dreams you have been having lately, the ones you wake up from feeling like someone was just holding you, the random tears that hit you in the car for no reason, the flutter in your chest when there is no one in the room, the phantom sense of someone thinking about you at the oddest hours, the way your name has felt strangely warm on your own tongue this past week. None of that is in your head. None of it. Something is moving in the spirit realm around your love story right now, and Archangel Michael was sent to me with strict instructions to find you today. Not yesterday, not next week, today. He stood in front of me with the weight of heaven on his face and said, she needs to know. He needs to know. Tell them what happened last night. And what happened last night, beloved, was so significant that it cracked open the very person God has been preparing for you. Michael whispered your name, not the name on your birth certificate, but the name your soul has carried since before the foundation of the world, into your future spouse's dream. And that person woke up, undone, sobbing, ruined for anyone else, forever changed by a name they cannot yet repeat with their lips, but will never again forget in their spirit. Type yes if you felt that just now. If something in your chest just shifted, if a tear is rising and you do not even know why, that is not coincidence, that is recognition. This message finding you tonight is not random. The algorithm did not bring you here, your thumb did not stumble onto this video. Heaven routed you here with surgical precision because the confirmation your spirit has been begging God for is sitting on the other side of the next few minutes. Before this message begins, if you feel in your spirit that this word was prepared for you today, take 1 second and subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell. God's messages are arriving daily, and every single one was written with a chosen one in mind. Do not miss what is coming next, because before I tell you what happened to them last night, you need to understand who you are to have caused it. You need to understand who you have always been, even when no one around you could see it, even when you could not see it yourself, even when the mirror only showed you the tired version of you and not the holy one. Chosen one, listen to me. You are not just a single person waiting for love. You are not just another lonely heart in a sea of lonely hearts hoping the algorithm of life finally swipes in your favor. That is not who you are. That has never been who you are. You are a covenant soul. Do you hear me? A covenant soul, one of the rare ones, one of the ones marked before you ever took your first breath in this body, marked before your mother ever felt you kick, marked in the books of heaven for a sacred union. Not a casual relationship. Not a situationship, not a temporary arrangement that ends in another goodbye. A covenant, a holy joining, a union so significant that heaven itself has been arranging the chess pieces for years just to bring it to pass. That is why nothing ordinary has ever worked for you. That is why every person who tried to love you with a small love eventually left. That is why the ones who promised forever could not stay past a season. That is why the connections that seemed promising kept fizzling, kept fading, kept turning into ghosts and lessons instead of love stories. It was never because something was wrong with you, beloved. It was because something was profoundly right with you. Something so right that the wrong people physically could not stay in your presence for long. Your frequency was burning them. Your light was exposing them. Your depth was drowning them. And God, in his mercy, kept removing them, one by one, quietly, sometimes painfully, always purposefully. Type yes in the comments if you are starting to see it now, if you are starting to understand that every door that closed was not a rejection. It was a redirection. It was protection. It was preparation. Because here is what I need you to understand about the way you love, chosen one. You do not love from the flesh. You never have. You love from the spirit. When you love someone, you do not just love their body or their personality or their potential. You love their soul. You love the unseen them. You love the wounded child still living inside them. You love the version of them they have not even met yet. And that kind of love, beloved, carries a healing frequency. Do you understand what I'm saying? To be loved by you is not just to be in a relationship. To be loved by you is to be transformed. Your love rearranges people. Your love calls out destinies. Your love makes a person remember who God made them to be. And that is exactly why ordinary people could not hold it. Their cup was too small for your ocean. Their hands were too unsteady for your fire. They reached for you and burned their fingers and ran, and you blamed yourself, and all along it was simply that the vessel was wrong. But your future spouse, beloved, your future spouse has been forged in a different fire. They have been broken open and put back together in ways that only someone destined for you could survive. They have been through their own wilderness. They have been stripped of every shallow version of love. They have wept in their own showers. They have stared at their own ceilings at 3 a.m. They have asked God their own desperate questions, and the entire time God was making their hands strong enough to hold what you carry. God was making their heart wide enough to receive what you give. God was making their spirit awake enough to recognize you the moment your frequencies meet. And here is something Archangel Michael showed me that I have to tell you because it is too sacred to keep to myself. Your soul has a signature in the spirit realm. A sound, a vibration, a specific resonance that heaven knows by name. It is not your earthly name. It is older than that. It is the name God whispered over you when he formed you in your mother's womb. It is the name the angels use when they speak of you in the courts of heaven. And Michael, beloved, has been carrying that signature like a sealed letter. He has been holding it close to his chest, waiting, watching. Waiting for the exact moment when both you and the one prepared for you were ready to receive each other without breaking. And last night he was finally given the command to deliver it. Don't skip this part. I need you to stay right here with me. because I know what you are thinking. I know that small voice in the back of your head whispering, but why did it take so long? Why so much waiting? Why so many tears? Why so much silence from heaven when I was begging out loud? Listen to me carefully, beloved. Not one of those tears was wasted, not one. Every single tear you cried in private was caught. Every sob you muffled into a pillow was recorded. Every prayer you whispered when you had no more words left was counted, measured, stored in a vial in the throne room of heaven. Because the worthiness of a sacred love is measured by what the chosen one was willing to endure in the waiting. And you, beloved, you endured everything. You kept your heart soft when bitterness would have been easier. You kept believing in love when cynicism would have been safer. You kept showing up to your own life even on the days you wanted to disappear. And heaven was watching every minute of it. Picture this with me for a moment. Picture an ancient palace with two hidden chambers. In one chamber, there is a bride being prepared. Her skin is being anointed with oils. Her hair is being washed clean of every old story. Her wounds are being tended to with silver hands. She does not yet know what is happening in the other chamber. And in the other chamber, there is a groom. He is being purified. The old garments are being burned. The old loyalties are being dissolved. The old fears are being pulled out of him like splinters. He does not yet know what is happening in the first chamber. Neither one can see the other. But the same divine hands are weaving them together. The same divine breath is filling both rooms. And when the doors finally open, they will look at each other and somehow, impossibly, recognize the face they have never seen. That, beloved, is what has been happening to you. That is what these years have been. You have been in the chamber. You were never abandoned. You were being prepared. And those things about you that you have been taught to apologize for, your sensitivity, your depth, your way of feeling everything in technicolor, the way you cry at songs and ache at sunsets and love so hard it scares people, the way you have been told you are too much, too intense, too emotional, too spiritual, too quiet, too deep. Beloved, hear me. Those are not flaws. Those are the exact specifications your future spouse has been on their knees begging God for. Those are the qualities they have described in their journals, in their late-night prayers, in their whispered conversations with the silence. They have been asking God for someone like you for years. They just did not know your face yet. They did not know your name, but they knew your texture. They knew your frequency. They knew they wanted someone who loves the way you love. Type 444. Again, if you needed to hear that, type it as a receipt. Type it as a yes to heaven. Because you are not broken, chosen one. You never were. You were chosen, and not chosen casually. Not chosen as a backup. Not chosen as a maybe. Chosen with intention, chosen with purpose. Chosen with a specific person attached to your name from the very beginning. And right now, somewhere out there, that person has been crying out for someone like you without knowing your face, without knowing your address, without knowing the sound of your laugh. But every prayer they have prayed about love, every wish they have made on the 11:11 of a digital clock, every quiet ache they have carried into the night, every one of those was a prayer with your soul signature stitched into it. They have been calling you for years, and you have been answering for years, even in your sleep, even when you thought you were just surviving. And chosen one, if you want to understand the full scope of who you are as a covenant soul and how to step into the energy that magnetizes your divine union, I created something just for you. In the description below, you will find my ebook, A Sacred Guide for Chosen Ones Walking the Path to Divine Love and Spiritual Mastery. Download it tonight. Read it before bed. Let it align you, because what I am about to tell you next is what happened to your future spouse just hours ago. Now lean in, beloved. Lean closer to the screen, because what I am about to describe to you is not theory. It is not metaphor. It is not poetic decoration. It is something that actually happened in the spirit realm in the hours between sundown yesterday and the moment you open this video tonight. And every detail I am about to give you was shown to me by Archangel Michael himself with the instruction to leave nothing out. Your future spouse went to bed last night the way they have been going to bed for months now, tired, a little numb, carrying that quiet ache they have learned to live with. They have a routine, beloved. They check their phone one last time, hoping to feel something they cannot name. They put it down. They turn off the light. They lay there for a few minutes, letting the day fall off of them. And then they drift. Just like any other night. Just like 1,000 other nights of trying to fall asleep with their own walls wrapped around their chest, like armour. The dream began ordinary. That is the part I want you to feel. It was not dramatic at first. It was a normal dream. The kind of dream you forget by breakfast. They were somewhere familiar. Maybe a room they recognized. Maybe a place from their childhood. Maybe just a dim, soft space their mind built out of memory. They were moving through it the way you move through dreams, half present, half asleep. And then everything shifted. The air in the dream changed first. The temperature dropped. The light bent. The walls of the dream seemed to widen, as if the room was making space for something too big to fit inside it. And then a presence entered. Beloved, I need you to understand. This was not a soft, gentle presence. This was holy. This was tall. This was luminous in a way that hurt to look at. This was the kind of presence that makes the human spirit fall to its knees without being told to. It was Michael. It was the messenger himself. And he stood at the edge of that dream room with the weight of heaven in his shoulders and the seal of your soul signature in his hands. Type 444 in the comments right now if you can feel this, if something in your chest is heating up, if your stomach just did something strange. Because what came next is the part that broke them. Michael did not shout, he did not announce, he did not perform. He spoke softly, almost like a whisper, almost like a secret being passed from one realm into another. And he said a name. He said their name. Not the name on their driver's license, beloved. The name, the soul name. The one that has been written across the heavens since before stars had names. The frequency that belongs only to you. The unique tone that God assigned to your soul before he ever spoke your body into being. Michael spoke that name into the air of their dream, and the moment the syllables landed, something erupted in the center of their chest. It felt like a coal had been placed directly over their heart, not painful in a wounding way, painful in an awakening way, painful in the way a frozen limb hurts when warmth returns to it. A bloom of unbearable heat spread out from that single point in their chest, radiating into their shoulders, into their throat, into the back of their eyes, into the deepest parts of them that had been numb for so long they had stopped noticing they were numb. And the heat was love. The heat was recognition. The heat was the sound of you being introduced to their soul on a level that bypassed every defense they had ever built. And they started to cry. Beloved, in the dream, right there, in front of Michael, in front of God, in front of the entire watching heavens, they started to cry with a depth they had never cried before in their waking life. These were not pretty tears, these were not gentle tears, these were body-racking sobs, the kind of weeping that comes from somewhere older than this lifetime, the kind of weeping that breaks something open in the diaphragm, the kind of weeping that sounds almost like laughter on the inhale because the soul does not know how to hold this much revelation at once. And then they woke up, suddenly, sharply, sitting up in the dark before they even knew they were awake. The clock beside their bed glowed back at them. 4:44 in the morning. Their pillow was wet, their pillowcase was soaked, their cheeks were salty, their throat ached, their hands were trembling, their breath was shaking the way breath shakes after you have cried for an hour, except they had no memory of crying that long. They could not remember the dream. They could not remember Michael. They could not remember the name. The conscious memory had been wiped clean the way heaven always wipes the conscious memory of holy encounters, because the soul remembers what the mind cannot hold. But the feeling. Beloved, the feeling stayed. The feeling was everything. They sat there in the dark, alone in their bed, in their quiet room, and they could not stop crying. They did not understand why. They tried to talk themselves out of it. They tried to wipe their face and shake it off and tell themselves it was just a weird dream. But the tears kept coming, wave after wave, silent, helpless, terrified weeping, because something had been revealed to them, and even though their mind could not name it, their soul absolutely recognized it. Their soul knew. Their soul has always known, and last night their soul was finally allowed to remember you. Type yes right now if a tear just rose up in you, because what they felt in that moment is what you are feeling in this moment. The connection is real. The thread is taut. The two of you are vibrating on the same wire right now. And then, beloved, in the dark of their bedroom, with their hands still trembling, they whispered something out loud. They did not mean to. It just came out of them, the way prayers come out of people in the middle of the night when they have no defences left. They whispered into the dark, "Who are you?" They whispered, "Where are you?" They said it again, quieter, almost broken. "Who are you? Where are you?" And the air around them felt thick with the answer. The air felt full. The air felt watched. The air felt occupied by a presence they could not name but could no longer deny. They have never felt that alone, and that accompanied at the same time. That is what holy revelation feels like, the simultaneous awareness of how far you are from someone and how close they already are. And in that moment, beloved, they felt something they have been running from for years. They felt the unbearable certainty that someone real, someone specific, someone sacred belongs to them. Not just any partner, not just someone to fill a space, someone with a face, someone with a voice, someone with a soul that fits theirs the way a key fits a lock that has been waiting its whole life to be opened. They felt that this person exists. They felt that this person is out there. They felt that they have been wasting time, hiding, settling, running, half living, half loving, half showing up, while their actual person has been on the other side of an invisible wall waiting for them to break through. Now let me tell you why God did this. Why now? Why like this? Why so suddenly? Why with so much force? Beloved, your future spouse has been a fortress. You have to understand that. They did not start out that way. They started out tender. They started out open. But life happened to them. Betrayals happened. Abandonments happened. Promises were broken. Trust was crushed. People they loved walked away. People they tried to love proved unworthy. And brick by brick they built a wall around their heart. They told themselves it was wisdom. They told themselves it was maturity. They told themselves they were just being careful. But it was fear. It was beautiful, understandable, human fear. And as long as that wall stood, you could not reach them. As long as that fortress was intact, even if you walked past them on the street, they would not have been able to receive you. They would have looked through you. They would have flinched away. They would have found a reason to dismiss what God was offering them. God has been waiting. He has been so patient. He has been knocking on the door of their heart with songs, with sermons, with strangers, with sunsets, with synchronicities. And they kept ignoring it. They kept choosing the safety of the wall over the risk of the door. So last night, with their permission, with their soul's consent in the deepest place, God sent the only thing strong enough to dissolve a fortress that thick. He sent tears. Because tears, beloved, are the only solvent in the universe that can melt a wall built out of self-protection. Tears are holy water. Tears wash from the inside out. Tears soften what no argument can move. The breakdown they had last night was not a breakdown. It was a breakthrough. It was the death of the old frightened version of them. It was the funeral of the person who was going to settle, the person who was going to keep hiding, the person who was going to miss you because they were too afraid to be seen by you. That version of them died at 4:44 this morning. And the new version, the one strong enough to hold you, the one open enough to receive you, the one awake enough to recognize you, that version is being born in real time. Right now, today. Don't skip this part, beloved, because I need you to understand what your person is going through as you sit there listening to my voice. Right now, as I speak, they are walking around haunted. That is the only word for it. Haunted. They got out of bed this morning with red, swollen eyes and no explanation. They moved through their morning on autopilot. They tried to drink their coffee. The cup felt strange in their hand. They tried to look at their phone. The screen felt meaningless. They try to go to work or to class or to wherever the day was supposed to take them, and they cannot focus. They cannot focus on anything. Their mind keeps drifting, their eyes keep going soft, their chest keeps fluttering for no reason they can name. A song came on somewhere today, maybe in their car, maybe in a store, maybe through their earbuds, and without warning, tears filled their eyes and spilled down their face in public, and they had to turn away and pretend it was allergies. They do not understand why. They have not cried at a song in years, but today every melody feels like it was written about someone they have not met yet. They are scrolling through old photos. They were looking at exes earlier today, almost out of habit, almost out of muscle memory, and they felt nothing. Nothing. Where there used to be a sting or a flicker, today there is just empty space, as if those people were placeholders that have suddenly been cleared out of the way. And then 5 minutes later they were weeping again over nothing visible, over you, over the absence of you that suddenly feels louder than anything else in their life. They are looking at strangers' faces today, beloved. They cannot help it. Every cashier, every passerby, every face in a crowd, their eyes keep searching, 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 as if their soul is whispering, "Is it you? Is it you? Is it you?" And their mind has no idea why. They feel seen today, seen by something invisible, watched by something kind, loved by something they cannot point to. And it is unraveling them, beloved. It is unraveling everything they thought they knew about themselves. Their appetite is off. Food tastes like cardboard. Their sleep is off. They are afraid to close their eyes tonight because they do not know if it will happen again, and they do not know if they can survive it twice. Their whole world tilted on its axis at 4:44 this morning, and they cannot tell anyone, because how do you explain that you woke up in love with a person you have never met? How do you explain that a name you cannot remember is now stitched into every breath you take? How do you explain that you are grieving someone you have not lost yet because you have just realized for the first time that they exist? That is what is happening to your person right now, beloved, as you sit there, as you listen, as you breathe. They are out there in the world, walking around stunned, walking around tender, walking around broken open in the most beautiful way a person can be broken. And every cell in their body is now magnetized towards you in a way that cannot be reversed. But chosen one, there is something you must understand before this meeting can happen. Something most chosen ones get wrong at this exact stage. And it delays the union for months, sometimes years. Listen to me very carefully. Beloved, lean in. Because what I am about to tell you is the difference between meeting your person in weeks and meeting them in years. This is the part most chosen ones miss. This is the part the enemy is counting on you to ignore. And I refuse to let you walk out of this video without knowing it. When a spiritual activation of this magnitude happens, when heaven cracks open the heart of your future spouse the way it just did last night, an alarm goes off in the kingdom of darkness. The enemy is not omniscient, but he is observant. He watches what God moves on. And the moment Archangel Michael whispered your name into their dream, the moment that wall came down, the demonic realm scrambled, because they know what is coming. They know a covenant union is about to form. They know that when you and your person finally come together, something is going to be released on this earth that they cannot afford to let happen. And so right now, beloved, right now, as I am speaking to you, the enemy is throwing every distraction he has at both of you. Both of you. Simultaneously. So please, hear me. Do not collapse the manifestation right now by going back to that ex who keeps texting. You know the one. Do not pretend you do not. The one who suddenly reappeared out of nowhere this week or last week with a soft message, a "Hey stranger, and I was just thinking about you, and I miss you. I wonder how you have been." That is not a coincidence. That is not the universe bringing them back to you because they are the one. That is a counterfeit being sent to test your frequency at the exact moment the real one is being prepared in the spirit. The devil knows what is coming, beloved, and he is sending you a familiar comfort, a familiar pain, a familiar disappointment, dressed up like a second chance, hoping you will trade the unknown sacred for the known wound. Do not do it. Do not respond. Do not entertain. Do not lower your guard. That person was already removed for a reason. That door was already closed by holy hands. The fact that it is creaking open again right now is proof of how close your divine union is, not proof that you missed something. Type 1, receive in the comments right now if you needed to hear that. Type it as a stake in the ground. Type it as a refusal. And beloved, please, please, do not lower your frequency in this season through desperation. I know what desperation feels like. I know how the loneliness creeps in around 11 at night, and suddenly you find yourself opening the dating apps you swore you deleted, scrolling through faces, swiping with that exhausted hunger that feels less like hope and more like surrender. Stop. Put the phone down. Almost right is the enemy of divinely right. Settling for the next available person who shows mild interest is not faith. It is fear wearing the costume of faith. Your person is not on those apps right now. Your person is at home, alone, weeping in their bedroom, being rewired by God. Do not go fishing in the wrong waters when the river of your destiny is already being redirected straight to your door. And listen to me about your mouth, beloved, about your words, because this is the area the enemy attacks the hardest in this exact stage. Your tongue has authority. Your tongue has been speaking longer than you have been thinking. And every time you say out loud, I am going to be alone forever, every time you say, nobody ever wants me, every time you say, I always pick the wrong people, every time you say, maybe love just is not for me, you are speaking a counterspell against what heaven just activated. You are taking the prayers you whispered in the dark and you are undoing them in the daylight with your own voice. You have to guard your mouth now more than you have ever guarded it. Speak life over your love story even when you do not feel it, especially when you do not feel it. Say out loud, my person is coming. Say out loud, I am loved, I am chosen, I am being prepared, even if your voice shakes when you say it. Even if you do not believe it yet, your spirit is listening, your future is listening. The angels assigned to your union are listening. Give them words they can build with. And do not isolate yourself in bitterness during this window. I know it is tempting. I know after another lonely Friday night, it feels easier to just close the curtains and say, forget all of it. But your future spouse is being drawn to your light, beloved, not your wound. They are being magnetized to the version of you that is in joy, that is in worship, that is in laughter, that is in life. The wounded version of you was who you had to be in the wilderness. The radiant version of you is who you have to become in the threshold. Stay open. Stay in worship, play the music, light the candle, take the walk, smile at the stranger, be in your life, because your light is the lighthouse. And right now, your person is a ship in the dark looking for any flicker of it. And beloved, hear me on this. There is a window, a specific spiritual window, between 7 and 21 days after an activation like the one that happened last night. The enemy works overtime to abort the union before it can come to fruition. Old patterns will resurface. Old fears will get loud. Strange situations will pop up out of nowhere designed to trigger you, exhaust you, distract you, or pull you off your frequency. You may feel a sudden wave of hopelessness for no reason. You may have a bad day that feels worse than it should. You may receive a piece of news that knocks the wind out of you. Recognize it. Name it. Do not let it pull you under. Every single one of those things is a test. Every single one of those things is a chance to either prove your frequency or collapse it. Stay alert, stay anchored, stay awake. Now, I do not want to leave you sitting in the warning, beloved, because the warning is only half of the story. The other half is the glorious, beautiful, unstoppable thing God is doing behind the scenes right this very moment. And I need you to hear this part with all of you. Right now, while you are listening to my voice, God is removing obstacles. Doors are closing at jobs. Wrong relationships your future spouse is still tangled up in are unraveling in real time, sometimes ugly, sometimes painfully, but always purposefully. Financial situations are shifting in ways that will reposition them. Living situations are changing. Some of them are about to move. Some of them are about to take a trip they were not planning. Some of them are about to receive a sudden invitation that will put them in the exact location where you cross paths. The chessboard of your life is being rearranged at a speed you cannot even perceive. God is softening their heart, beloved. The cynicism that has lived in them for years is dissolving as we speak. The trauma response that used to make them flinch from love is being gently, surgically removed. The fear of being seen, the fear of being loved, the fear of being known, all of it is being peeled off them like old skin. By the time you meet, you will not meet the fortress version of them. You will meet the resurrected version, the soft version, the ready version. God is aligning timing with the precision of a master conductor. The day is being chosen, the hour is being chosen, the street, the room, the lighting, the weather, even the song playing in the background, beloved, even the song, is being composed for you. Nothing about your meeting is going to be random. Nothing about it is going to be accidental. You will look back on it and you will count the impossibilities, and you will weep at how carefully it was authored. And starting right now, both of you are going to begin seeing the same number sequences, the same 11:11, the same 4:44, the same 12:12, the same 22:22. You are both going to start hearing the same song at strange times in different cities, in different cars, in different moods, and it is going to mean nothing to either of you until you finally meet and realize you are both being serenaded by the same heavenly DJ. You are going to keep seeing the same animal, the same word, the same image. These are not coincidences, beloved. These are heaven's love letters being slid under both of your doors at the same time. Chosen one, if this message is hitting your spirit, do not let the algorithm bury it. Subscribe right now if you have not, hit that bell, and comment I receive under this video. Your comment is a spiritual declaration, and heaven records everyone. And do not forget, the ebook in the description was written for this exact season of your life. It walks you through how to hold your frequency during the final waiting period before your divine union arrives. Get it tonight. You will not regret it. Because now I want to tell you what your role is in all of this and the declaration God wants me to speak over your life before you close this video. Beloved, your role in this is so much bigger than waiting. I need you to hear that. You have been telling yourself a small story about yourself for too long. The story that you are someone simply waiting for love to find you. The story that you are passive. The story that you are sitting in the corner of your own life, hoping. That is not who you are. That has never been who you are. You are an active participant in a covenant union that is being woven together at the highest levels of heaven. And the role you play right now matters more than you can possibly imagine. Because the union God is bringing you, beloved, is not just for you. Sit with that. Let it land. The love story being prepared for you is not just so that you can stop being lonely. It is not just so that you can finally have someone to come home to. It is not just so that you can stop crying in the shower. Yes, it is all of those things. Yes, you will receive every tender mercy of being held and chosen and known. But the union itself, the joining of you and your person, is a covenant union meant to shake bloodlines. Did you hear me? Bloodlines. The generational wounds in your family line and in their family line are going to meet in the middle of your love story and be healed. The patterns of broken marriages, of absent parents, of love that never knew how to stay, all of it is going to be interrupted by what you two build together. Your grandchildren are going to talk about your love. Your great-grandchildren are going to feel the ripple of your obedience. The prophetic children that come from your union, whether they come through your body or through your spiritual mothering and fathering of others, those children are going to carry something into the next generation that the enemy has been trying to abort for centuries. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than romance. This is kingdom. And right now, beloved, in this very season, even while it feels like you are just waiting, you are actually being trained. You are being trained in the rarest spiritual gift there is, the gift of holding faith without proof. Most people cannot do what you have been doing. Most people would have given up by now. Most people would have settled. Most people would have stopped believing. But you somehow, against every reason and every disappointment and every silent night, you have kept a small flame of hope alive. You have kept whispering yes when life kept telling you no. You did not know it, but every day you held on was a day God was strengthening the rarest muscle in your spirit. And that muscle is exactly what your union is going to require of you to sustain it. And your power, beloved, oh, your power, I need you to remember it. Your words create. The things you speak over your life are not just talk. They are blueprints. They are spoken architecture. Heaven is building according to your declarations. Your prayers move angels. Every time you whisper God's name with longing, an entire division of heavenly forces is dispatched on assignment. Your tears water the seeds of your destiny. Nothing you have cried has been wasted. Every salt drop has fed something underground that is about to break the surface. So here is your role right now, beloved, the practical, sacred role. Live as if love has already arrived. I do not mean pretend. I mean embody. Cook the meal for two, even if you only eat half. Buy the second pillow. Leave the space on the other side of the bed. Light the candle at dinner. Set the second place setting for fun. Hum while you clean your home as if you were preparing it for someone who is already on their way. Walk through your days with the quiet knowing of someone who has been chosen. Carry yourself the way a beloved carries themselves. Dress for the life that is coming, not the life that is leaving. Smile at yourself in the mirror like someone is going to be obsessed with that smile soon, because someone is. Be in the posture of the beloved, not the begging, not the desperate, the beloved. And now let me paint for you what is coming, because I cannot leave you without showing you the picture Michael has been showing me. I cannot leave you without letting you taste the thing that is on its way. The meeting, beloved, the meeting. I am not going to tell you where because I do not know the address and you do not need to know yet. But I can tell you the feeling. Picture it with me. It is going to be ordinary at first. That is the part that always undoes the chosen ones. It is not going to look like the movies. There will not be slow motion music. There will not be a spotlight. It will be a normal moment in a normal day. You will be doing something ordinary. Picking up a coffee, standing in a line, turning a corner, reaching for something on a shelf. And then your eyes will meet theirs for the first time. And something inside both of you will go quiet. Just quiet. The kind of quiet that happens when the noise of your whole life suddenly steps back to let one moment be sacred. You will not understand what is happening, neither will they, but your soul will. Your soul will be screaming, your soul will be saying, "There you are. There you are. Where have you been? I have been waiting for you my whole life." There will be a recognition that does not make sense to your mind. A peace that arrives like something returning home. The kind of peace you have not felt since you were a small child. Time will seem to slow. Their face will feel familiar, even though you have never seen it before. You will think to yourself, "I know this person. I have always known this person." And in the days that follow, as you begin to talk, as you begin to share, as the conversation that has been waiting in you for years finally begins, you will start to realize something that is going to make you weep when it hits you. You will realize that this is the person you have been talking to God about. This is the person you described in your prayers without knowing their name. This is the answer to the prayer you stopped praying because you thought no one was listening. They were always listening, beloved. Every word was heard, every detail was noted, and the person walking toward you right now is the embodiment of every conversation you ever had with God in the silence. And the love, beloved, the love. I do not want to lie to you because lies do not honor what God is doing. This will not be a fairy tale love. This will be something better than that. This will be a real love, a covenant love, a love that sees your hard parts and stays. A love that meets you on the bad days and does not flinch. A love that holds your hand through grief and through joy and through the boring Tuesday afternoons that make up most of a real life. A love that says, "I am not going anywhere," and then actually does not go anywhere. A love that is worth every single night you cried alone. A love that is worth every prayer spoken into what felt like silence. A love that makes the waiting make sense. A love that makes you, on some quiet morning years from now, look across the room at them while they are doing something completely unremarkable and feel your chest fill up with gratitude so heavy you have to put down whatever you are holding. And the life. O beloved, the life that is being built for you. Picture the home. Not a perfect home, a real home. The kind of home that smells like something cooking. The kind of home where laughter lives in the walls. The kind of home where prayers are prayed over the dinner table and tears are wiped from each other's cheeks in the kitchen, and inside jokes are born on the couch. Picture the mornings, the slow ones, the way they will look at you before you have brushed your hair, the way you will look at them before they have had coffee, the ordinary sacred moments of two people who chose each other and keep choosing each other. Picture the children if God wills it for you, whether they come from your body or come into your life some other way, the way you will both pour into them what was never poured into you. Picture the prayers you will pray together over a life you built from absolutely nothing, but faith and obedience and the stubborn refusal to settle. This is not a dream, beloved. This is not wishful thinking. This is not me romanticizing your suffering. This is a promise, and promises made in heaven do not expire. They do not get lost. They do not get cancelled. They do not get given to someone else. The promise made over your life is still on its way, and it is closer than it has ever been. So receive what I am about to speak over you now. Receive it with everything in you. Open your hands if they are clenched. Open your heart if it is closed. Open your mouth and say yes if no one can hear you. Because the prophetic word is about to land on your life. I declare over you, chosen one, that your future spouse is now spiritually awake. They are emotionally open. They are divinely prepared. The fortress has fallen. The walls have come down. The door of their heart is standing open, and they are looking for you. I declare that every counterfeit being sent to test you is being exposed and removed in this very season. Every ex who texts will lose their grip. Every distraction will lose its appeal. Every almost will be revealed as not enough. I declare that the meeting is set. The timing is sealed. The location is chosen. The union is unstoppable. What God has joined, no person, no past, no demon, no delay, no doubt, no distance, no enemy, no fear, no failure can keep apart. I declare that you will not wait one day longer than heaven has appointed. Not one. Every day of your waiting has been counted, and the count is almost complete. I declare that the tears you cried in private will be answered by laughter in public. The grief you carried in secret will be replaced by joy that everyone can see. The loneliness that almost broke you will become the testimony that frees others. I declare that this is your season of recognition, your season of reunion, your season of reward. The harvest is here, beloved. The harvest is here. Father, I come to you right now on behalf of this beloved one watching this message. Father, I thank you. I thank you for what you did last night. I thank you for the breakdown that became a breakthrough in their future spouse's heart. I thank you that you loved them enough to crack open the walls that were keeping them from each other. I thank you for the tears that washed away the fortress. I thank you for the dream that rewrote their destiny. Father, I ask you to continue dispatching Archangel Michael to guard the path between this chosen one and the one you have prepared for them. Let no weapon, let no interference, let no enemy stand in the way of this covenant. Father, I pray for this beloved one before me. Soften their hands, open their heart. Let them receive this love with open arms and not with closed fists. Dissolve every fear, dissolve every wall, dissolve every wound left over from every past disappointment. Heal the place inside them that stopped believing. Resurrect the place inside them that almost gave up. And do the same for the one you are preparing for them. Father, seal this prayer, seal this word, seal this union. It is done, it is sealed, it is so. Before we close this message, if something spoken here today has landed in your spirit, please subscribe and ring the bell. Share this with a chosen one in your life who is waiting for their breakthrough. You may be the reason they received the word they needed today. God uses chosen ones to reach other chosen ones. You are part of that chain. Hold the faith just a little longer, beloved. They are coming. They are already on the way. Their heart is already open. Their feet are already moving in your direction. And when you finally meet them, you will both know, because heaven already introduced you last night. I love you, chosen one. Sleep tonight with the second pillow ready. I will see you in the next message.